Hey there, tribe. Welcome back to the mat. In this class, we are working on strength and surrender. So it is going to be a bit of a butt kicker of a class. We're going to be working pretty hard for most of it. Make sure you take breaks whenever you need them. Child's pose is always there whenever you need. Before we dive into today's class, please come join us in the online tribe. The link is in the description below. Go ahead and click and come on in and join us. And if you like free yoga, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more. For this practice, it will be handy to have 1 or 2 blocks close by. You might want them for a supported warrior 3, so if you'd like to bring blocks underneath the hands, make sure that they're close to your mat so that you can grab those easily. You'll also be needing a strap for this practice. If you don't have a yoga strap, you can use a scarf. Make sure that it's a material that is easy to kind of slide. That's what we'll be doing with it. Nothing too thick. Other than that, all you'll need is your yoga mat. Go ahead, unroll your mat, and let's get started. So make sure that your strap is within hand's reach so that you are able to easily grab it and come on down onto your back. So go ahead and come all the way onto your back, just like savasana. Legs long, arms next to the body. We'll take a few rounds of breath here to sort of center, to dip into the practice. So as you lay here, finding some stillness, see if you can tap into that sense of surrender. So notice if there are any parts of the body where you are holding tension or gripping at all. And see if you can invite those areas to release, to surrender, to allow yourself to be supported by the earth that's beneath you. And as you surrender here, start to bring a bit more depth and length to your breaths. If you're familiar with Ujjayi breath, you can begin to turn on your Ujjayi breath, bringing slight constriction to the back of the throat, creating that audible breath, and giving your breath a voice. Let's see if you can keep the Ujjayi breath throughout practice today. As we begin to move the body, go ahead and bring the feet to touch and extend the arms long overhead. You can take a nice long stretch here like you just woke up. And now go ahead and take both hands and take them over towards the left. So coming to the left-hand side, so making sure to keep the shoulder blades flat on the earth so the entire back is still flat on the earth. And now take both feet and walk them over towards the left as well. Again, making sure that you're keeping the right hip down on the earth. So the entire back of the body remains flat on the earth, and you are in this crescent moon shape, finding openness through the right side of your body. And if you'd like to intensify, you can cross the right ankle over the left, still making sure to keep the right hip down. One more breath here. And then bring the feet to center and the hands back up to center as well. And then we'll come to the other side. So take the hands over towards the right. And again, making sure to keep back completely flat on the earth. And then the feet will walk over towards the right as well. Keeping the entire back of the body flat on your mat as you open through the left side. And then again, you can cross the left ankle over the right if you'd like to intensify this a little bit. I will warn you that I am filming this during the World Cup of soccer, and Mexico is playing today, so you might hear some screaming in the background coming in from the streets. That will be cheers or boos, depending on how Mexico is doing. So if you hear any cheering or shouting, that's what that is. Go ahead and bring the hands and the feet back to center. And then from here, we're going to start to wake up the core. So go ahead and bring soles of the feet flat onto your mat and reach for your strap. So you're going to open up your strap nice and long, and then you're going to press into the feet, lift the hips just a little bit, just so that you can bring the strap underneath the low back. So the strap is going to be underneath you, and then bring the hips back onto the earth. So don't engage anything just yet, just laying here with the soles of the feet flat. Bring the strap so that it's underneath the natural curvature of your lower back. So as you lay here, you should be able to floss the strap back and forth underneath that curve in the lower spine. Now what we're going to do is to start turning on the belly. So we're activating the core. So begin to pull the pubic bone up towards the navel as you press the navel back towards the spine. So what's happening here is that you're now pressing the low back into the strap. So now when you take hold of your strap, you should no longer be able to floss it back and forth underneath you. So it is now being held taut underneath the low back by the power of your core. So you can go ahead and release that for a moment. And so that's what we're going to be playing with. And I forgot to mention to have your blocks nearby. So go ahead and grab your blocks. We're going to take one block and bring it in between the thighs. And the other block is going to come in between the palms, just like this. So again, soles of the feet flat on the earth, block in between the thighs. Keeping the block in one hand, go ahead and bring pubic bone to navel, press the belly button back towards the spine, press lower back into the strap. Make sure that you can't floss it. Beautiful. Squeeze the thighs into the block. Bring your other block into the palms of the hands and extend the arms long overhead. Now begin to lift the knees off of the earth and lift head and shoulders off of the earth. Now from here, you can keep the knees bent as they are, or maybe experiment with straightening the legs. Squeeze into that block and breathe. And if you feel the low back lifting off of your strap, bring the knees back in closer so that you can really press the belly button back towards the spine. And then go ahead and release. Beautiful. You can remove the block from between the thighs and place it off to one side. We're going to keep the block in between the hands. So take a breath or two here, relax. We're going to come back into that core activation. The arms are going to come back overhead, squeezing the block. We're going to lift head and shoulders off the earth, and we're going to take some movement with the legs. So that's where we're going. So go ahead, pubic bone to navel, belly button to spine, press down into your strap. So it is now held tightly underneath you. Lifting the feet up, legs are at 90 degrees, arms overhead with the block between the hands, lift head and shoulders. Now from here, straighten the left leg long, and then switch, straighten the right leg, bend the left knee, and then switch, and switch. Squeeze the block between the palms as you continue switching the legs. One more each side, and release. Whew. You feeling the belly yet? I think you probably are. Alrighty, we've got one more. You can let go of all the blocks and leave them next to your mat. Soles of the feet will come flat onto the earth. Once again, press navel towards spine, press down into your strap, make sure it won't move. And now you're gonna lift the head and shoulders off the mat, reach the arms forward towards your feet. And now shift to the right and tap your right ankle. And then tap your left ankle. Tap right, tap left, tap right, and left, right, left, right, left. Continue like this. 3 more. 1 more. And release. Whew. All right, belly is awake. Or it should be anyways. You can press into the feet, lift the hips a little bit, just enough to move the strap out from underneath you. And you can set the strap off to the side. We will not be needing that for the remainder of this practice. Your blocks, you may want them again later. Go ahead and hug the knees in towards the chest, give them a loving squeeze. And then begin to roll yourself forward and back. I'll take a few of these here. So as you roll up, see if you can keep the feet hovering over the earth. See if you can make these really slow rolls so that you're using the belly to lift you up. More so than momentum. It's kind of hard to do. All right, 1 more. Roll it up, and then come into tabletop position. Hands and knees. So stacking the shoulders right above the wrists and the hips right above the knees. We're not done working the belly just yet. Go ahead and tuck your toes underneath. Now, make sure that you're pulling the navel up towards the spine. So if you imagine that you're still lying flat on your back and the strap is underneath the low back, same action. You're pressing the low back into the strap, right? So the belly button pulls up towards the spine. Press the earth away, so you should feel the shoulder blades spread a little bit on the back. With all of that active, go ahead and lift the knees off the earth, hover them just an inch or 2 off the mat. And breathe. Now from here, walk the feet back just 2 inches. And stay. And then walk them back 2 more inches. Shoulders stay right above the wrists. Walk them back 2 more inches. Walk them back into a plank pose. Really strong plank. And then walk the toes in 2 inches. And then 2 more inches. 2 more inches. And then walk the knees underneath the hips, bring knees to the earth. Take a rounded cat-cow. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze and the tailbone. Exhale, round the spine, bring chin towards the chest. 1 more like this, inhale. And exhale. Find your flat back. We're coming back into those hovered knee walks. I don't really have a name for them. So again, navel pulls up towards the spine, press the earth away, tuck the toes, lift the knees, hover them over the earth. And then walk the feet back 2 inches. Walk them back 2 more inches. And then 2 more inches. And a little bit more. And then come into plank pose. And breathe. And then walk the feet in 2 inches. And then 2 more inches. And 2 more inches. And when the knees come under the hips, bring them to the earth. Cat cow, inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, round. One more, inhale. And exhale. Beautiful, neutral spine. Go ahead and extend the right leg long behind you. Make sure that the toes are pointing down towards the earth beneath you, and extend the left arm forward. Notice if the belly starts to sag down towards the earth. Again, navel to spine. Imagine that strap at the low back. You're pressing into it. From here, tap the right toes on the mat, and then lift the right leg high. Keep the hip closed. Tap the toe, and lift the leg. Tap the toe, lift, tap, and lift. One more, tap, and lift. Release the right knee and the left hand to the earth. Switching sides, left leg goes long. So square hips, you want both headlights pointing straight down, right arm extends forward. Tap the left toes, and then lift heel to the sky. Tap the toes, heel to sky. Tap, and lift. 2 more, tap, lift, tap, and lift. And release. Make your way into downward facing dog. Take any movement that feels good here in this downward facing dog. And when you feel satisfied with movement, start to find stillness here in your downward facing dog. And on an inhale, come forward, plank pose. Strong plank, press the earth away, gazes towards the front edge of the mat. As you exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to play with tapping the right knee up towards the triceps and the wrists. So listen carefully. On your inhale, lift the right leg up and back. As you exhale, shift the weight forward, tap the right knee to the right tricep. Drop the right knee to the right wrist. Take the right knee over to the left wrist. Lift the knee up to the left tricep. And then right tricep, and lift up and back. Again, right knee, right tricep. Right knee, right wrist. Right knee, left wrist. Right knee, left tricep. Right knee, right tricep. And lift. Release the right leg down. We'll play with that on the left side. Left leg lifts up and back. Left knee comes to the left tricep. Left knee, left wrist. Left knee, right wrist. Left knee, right tricep. Left knee, left tricep. And lift up and back. Again, left knee, left tricep. Left knee, left wrist. Left knee, right wrist. Left knee, right tricep. Left knee, left tricep. And lift up and back. Release left leg to the earth. Breathe. Go ahead and bring knees to the earth. Seat to feet, take a child's pose. Coming back into your breath. Giving it a moment to smooth out and slow down. And when you're ready, making your way back into downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, come forward plank pose and lower yourself slowly to the earth. We're coming into a locust pose, Shalabhasana. So feet are together and arms are going to come straight forward. You're going to reach the feet back towards the back of your space so much that the feet and the legs lift off the earth, and then lift the chest up off the earth. Take an inhale here, and as you exhale, you're going to bend the knees and create goalpost arms, so bending the elbows back. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more. Inhale. And exhale. And release. Stack the hands, bring forehead onto the hands. Shift the hips side to side. Place the hands underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes underneath. We're going to press up into a plank pose. So you can choose if you press up into a modified plank with the knees down, or if you keep the knees lifted. So firm up the legs, firm up the belly, pull shoulder blades back towards each other. Take an inhale, exhale, press it all up, plank pose. And downward facing dog. From here, go ahead and walk the feet up to the hands, finding hip width distance between the feet, a bend in the knees, let the torso and head hang heavy. Maybe finding a gentle sway with the torso. Haven't even gotten into the standing poses yet. Take a big breath in through the nose. Open the mouth and let it go. Alrighty, take an inhale. Lift halfway, crown of the head reaches forward. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, bring hands onto hips. Come up to stand with a flat back. Bringing big toes to touch, finding your Tadasana mountain pose at the top of the mat. From here, we're coming into Utkatasana chair pose. So bending the knees deeply, lifting the arms, continuing to pull the pubic bone towards the navel so that the belly is firm and we take out some of the arch in the low back. Weight is in the heels. As you inhale, bring the right knee in towards the chest, stay low on the left leg. Exhale, tap the right toes. Inhale, right knee to the chest. Exhale, tap the toes. Inhale. Exhale, tap. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, bring the knee to the chest, and then release the right foot down next to the left and fold over the legs. Inhale, lift the gaze, lengthen the spine. Exhale, plant the palms, step or hop back, make your way through your vinyasa. Meeting in downward facing dog, step the right foot in between the hands. Staying on the ball of the back foot, we're coming into a high lunge. So hips are square to the front of your mat, arms lift high. You want to think about pulling the pubic bone up towards the navel so that the belly's pulling up and in, and at the same time press the left hamstring up towards the sky. So you're trying to find a balance in between these two sort of opposing movements here in your high lunge. Now from here, bring hands to heart center. We're coming into a warrior 3. So shift the weight forward, lean the torso over the right leg, shift it forward, lift left leg straight back. So you've got one straight line from crown of the head all the way through the left heel. The left toes are pointing down towards the mat beneath you. From here, begin to lift the torso, bring the left knee in towards the chest, lift the arms high, and then extend the left leg straight out in front of you and stay for 3, 2, 1, keep the left leg straight. Don't let the left foot touch the floor as you bring the left leg all the way back into your warrior 3. Arms can be long by the ears, or you can bring hands into heart center. Bend the right knee deeply, coming back into your high lunge. Taking an inhale here. As you exhale, release hands to the earth, step right foot back, take your vinyasa. Left foot steps between the hands, high lunge, left side. Set up the feet. When you feel steady, lifting the torso. Again, pubic bone pulls up to navel, right hamstring presses up towards the sky. Find the balance between these two movements. Bringing hands into heart center. We're coming into that warrior 3. So the torso leans over the leg, shift the weight onto the left leg, right leg extends straight back, close hip, long line of energy from heel to crown to the head. Lifting the torso, right knee comes into the chest, lift the arms high, extend right leg long, stay for 3, 2, 1, keep the right leg long like a pendulum. Don't let it touch the floor as you come into your warrior 3. Bend the left knee deeply, step back into your high lunge, arms lift high. Take an inhale here. Exhale, hands to the earth. Step left foot back, Vinyasa. And we meet in downward facing dog. Take a big breath in through the nose. Open the mouth, let it go. Now ready, right foot steps between the hands once again. We're coming back into high lunge. So set it up, arms lift high. Nice and strong here in your high lunge. All right, we're coming back into warrior 3. Bring hands to heart, lean the torso, shift the weight. Now here you have the option of coming into a supported warrior 3. So if you'd like to bring your blocks underneath your hands, please do so, because we're gonna play with some jiva squats. Now if you want to take like a quick pause and just watch what we're going to do, you're going to come from this warrior 3, you're going to inhale, bend the right knee, bring the left knee back behind it, jiva squat, and then you're going to exhale to extend the left leg out towards the left, long line. So you'll inhale, tap, exhale, extend. Option 2, do this with hands at heart center, inhale and exhale. Yeah, so you choose where you'd like to go, how you'd like to take this. Meet me in your warrior 3 of choice. Left leg extends back. Here we go. Inhale, jiva squat. Exhale, extend left leg out. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. I know that right glute is speaking to you. Inhale and exhale. Extend the left leg back, supported warrior 3. Step the left foot back, come back into your high lunge. Inhale here. Exhale, hands to the earth. Step the right foot back, vinyasa, or head straight to downward facing dog. Left foot will step between the hands. High lunge, set it up, nice and steady. Strong pose. Here we go, warrior 3, bring hands to heart. Lean the torso, shift the weight. You choose, supported or not. Inhale, jiva squat, right knee comes behind the left. Exhale, right leg goes out to the right. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, extend. 1 more. You got this. And extend the leg long. Bring the right leg back. Warrior 3. Right foot to the earth. Lift the torso. High lunge. Take an inhale. Exhale. Hands to the earth. Step back. Vinyasa or down dog. Bring the knees to the earth, seat to feet, child's pose. Alrighty, come on back, downward facing dog. We've got just a little bit more before we surrender. From downward facing dog, go ahead and walk the hands back towards the feet. And from here, bring the feet together, bring big toes to touch. Bend the knees deeply, lift the torso, Utkatasana, chair pose. Now from here, we're gonna take this chair pose and bring it up onto the toes. So lift the heels, come high onto the toes. Stay high on the toes as you begin to lower like an elevator, bringing the hips down towards the feet. Coming into a toe stand. So arms can remain high. You can bring hands to heart center if that makes it easier to balance. Try to find parallel thighs, so thighs parallel to the earth. So the tendency might be for them to, for the hips to shift back, the knees to lift high. You want to have the thighs parallel to the earth, the torso one long straight line. Hands to heart or up by the ears. If you feel super, super steady here, maybe you play with lifting one leg and extending it long, and then bringing it back. And of course, if you do one leg, you gotta do the other. So extend the other leg long. Whew. And then bring it back. Alrighty, we're gonna come back up like an elevator. Stay on the toes if you can. Lift up high, you gotta recruit those quadriceps. Lift up, chair pose, and then lower the heels. Take an inhale here. Exhale, pull down over the legs. Walk the hands back out. Find your downward facing dog. All right, my friends, we've reached the surrender portion of this class. Take the right foot outside the right hand for lizard pose. So I like to kind of shift my weight forward and back a little bit as I ease my way into lizard. If you feel ready to just surrender down into it, feel free. You can bring the left knee to the earth. And for this pose, you can stay right here on the hands, if that's where this pose is going to be for you today. Maybe you come onto forearms, maybe you bring a block or 2 blocks underneath you and bring the forearms onto your blocks. Experiment with what works best for your body today. And breathe. That's a lot of work you just did. So allow yourself to surrender into these next poses. If you are on the forearms, go ahead and come back on up to the hands. And you're gonna shift the hips back just a little bit and begin to heel toe the right foot over towards the left. So you're gonna cross the right shin in front of you. So the right foot comes over towards the left and then the right knee comes down over on the right side. So you're coming into pigeon pose. And the right foot can be really close to the left hip. If that works better for you, maybe you come closer to that 90-degree angle. Either way, you want to make sure that your hips are squaring towards the front of your mat. So if you're kind of collapsing this way, shift the weight over, bring a block or a blanket underneath the right hip so that you are supported and your hips are square. If this is not working for you, feel free to take this in a seated position, creating a figure 4 in the legs, just like this, lifting the chest, or you can take this on the back. Figure 4, and the left leg comes in towards the chest, you hug the left leg in. You will get the exact same stretch, so decide which variation works for you today, and it might be different from yesterday or last week. When you have found the position that works for you, begin to melt the torso down over the right leg. Gently begin to lift the torso. And we're going to shift the weight all the way over onto the right hip, bringing the left leg around. And we're going to stack the left shin on top of the right for Agni Stambhasana. So make sure that the right shin is parallel to the front edge of your mat. One straight line and the right foot is flexed. The left leg is going to stack on top. So you're going to have the left knee right above the right foot and the right foot right above the left knee. I can turn so that you see what this looks like. So you've got parallel shin in front of you, and then the other shin stacks right on top. So this is called fire log pose because it looks like a couple of fire logs stacked one on top of the other. If this is not working for you, which it totally might not, a couple things. If you're here and you just find that you've got a big space between the leg and the knee, bring a block into that space and allow yourself to be supported here. If this isn't happening, or if you find that you're kind of sickling the foot here a lot, then just bring the left shin in front of the right for your traditional crisscross applesauce and stay with these legs like this. That is totally fine. So either left shin is in front of the right or it is stacked on top. Sit up nice and tall. And this might be more than enough sensation for you. And if it is, stay right here, breathing into the sensations. And if you'd like to deepen this a little bit more, you can start to bring the hands in front of the legs as you shift the torso towards the legs. So make sure you're not rounding. Try and keep a nice long spine so you're leading with the chest. And then from here, you can maybe gradually walk the hands forward a little more as you lean the torso towards the legs a little more. This is a very intense hip opener, so take it really nice and slow. And surrender into the sensations that you're feeling. And slowly begin to lift the torso up. Undo the legs, bring the hands behind you, soles of the feet flat onto the mat, and windshield wiper the legs right to left a few times as you release all of that hip stuff. We're going to do all of that on the other side. So as you're ready, cross the shins, bring the hands to the earth, and make your way into downward facing dog. From here, the left foot steps outside the left hand. So set yourself up for lizard pose on the left side. Maybe finding some gentle movement here as you ease your way into the pose. Maybe bringing the right knee onto the earth. And taking maybe a breath or two here on the hands and deciding if you'd like to take the forearms down onto blocks or onto the earth. If you are on forearms, begin to lift up onto hands. If you're using some blocks, you can move them out of the way. And then shift the hips back slightly and begin to heel toe the left foot over towards the right. So we're coming into pigeon pose here on the other side. So set yourself up in the way that works best for your body on this side. And again, if you want to take this in a seated position on your back, please feel free to do so. Take whatever works for your body today. Notice any differences between left side and right side. One side is usually a little tighter than the other. Simply noticing where those differences lie. And when you feel ready, you can melt the torso down over the left leg. Notice where the mind starts to go in these moments of stillness. You can observe whether the strength or surrender proves to be more challenging for you. These surrender type poses are often more challenging for me. I much prefer to be moving, working, strengthening. The surrender requires a different type of strength. Slowly begin to lift your torso. And we're going to shift all the weight over onto the left hip and bring the right leg around. So now you've got left shin parallel to the front of your mat. You're going to stack the right shin on top. So right knee is above the right knee above left foot, and the right foot is on top of the left knee. And you want to be able to flex both feet. If this is not working, again, just bring the right shin in front of the left, take your seated cross-legged pose, and take this hip opening in that position. You'll get much of the same sensations. Sitting up nice and tall here. And staying right here if you're feeling more than enough. If you'd like to feel more stuff, bring the hands in front of the legs as you lean a long spine over the legs. Staying right here, or maybe walking the hands forward a little more. Deciding what works for you on this side. Gently begin to lift the torso back up. Undoing the legs, bring the hands back behind you, bring soles of the feet flat, and windshield wiper the legs, dropping these to the right and the left as you release that. And from here, we'll come into a diamond pose. So sitting up really nice and tall, soles of the feet are together. And this is not quite a Baddha Konasana, so you don't want the feet really close to the groin. You want them out a little bit more, so you've got this really nice long diamond shape in the legs. And from here, I'm going to recommend that you take a block and put it on top of your feet. We're going to fold down, and if the head does not come to the feet, it can be a little uncomfortable to sort of let it hang. So having the block there will support the head should you need it. And should you not need it, then you'll be able to move the block out. From here, you're going to take the right arm and bring it underneath the right shin. Left arm underneath left shin. So the hands will sort of cradle the feet here. And then the head will come down. So if you don't need this block, then it's pretty easy to use the fingertips to sort of move it out. But if you do need the block, then it should be there already. And in this pose, we're simply going to surrender. Allow yourself to melt down into it. Gently begin to lift the head. Now the right arm is going to stay right where it is. You can begin to undo the left arm, bringing it out from underneath the left leg. And you're going to bring the left hand to the inside of the left thigh, just above the knee. And you're going to press the left leg away as you straighten the right arm. Feeling for all that delicious side opening into the QL. And you can kind of adjust the sensations here by maybe bringing the torso towards the right leg or opening the torso up towards the sky. So it'll kind of shift the sensations you're feeling. You can kind of play with that and decide what sensations you'd like to surrender into. And then go ahead and release. You're going to bring the left arm back underneath the left shin. I'll take the other side. So you'll release the right arm. Right hand will come to the inside of the right thigh, just above the knee. And you'll press the leg away as you straighten the right arm. And again, playing with the sensations here, adjusting the positioning of the torso. And then go ahead and release. Releasing the left arm out from the left leg. And we're going to come onto our backs. Make sure that you have a block handy within hand's reach. Coming onto your back, for soles of the feet will come flat onto the earth. And we're going to come into a supported bridge pose. So taking your block in your hand, lifting the hips just enough to slide the block underneath the sacrum. So you can choose the height that you'd like your block to be on, depending on how thick they are. You can decide on the height that works for you. Resting the hips down on the block, arms by the sides of the body. From here, we'll take a nice passive inversion. So you're going to keep the block underneath you. I recommend having it on the lowest or maybe on medium height. I'm going to take mine to lowest height. And we're going to, nice and easy, extend the legs straight up to the sky from here. If there is another inversion that you feel you just have to have in this practice, a headstand, a shoulder stand, handstand, forearm stand, any inversion that is in your practice, if you would like to take whatever that is, feel free to do so. Otherwise, you can join me here in this really delicious Viparita Karani. If you'd like to make this even more restorative, you can scooch up to a wall and take legs up the wall and allow the legs to rest up on the wall. Otherwise, you can chill right here. Begin to bend the knees, bringing the feet back onto the earth. Press into the feet, lift the hips just enough to move the block out from underneath you. Bring the hips back onto the earth. And we're coming into Shavasana. Extending the legs long. If there are any last movements that your body is craving before you find stillness in Shavasana, please feel free to take that. You can always hit pause on this video and take whatever it is that your body needs right now. If you're ready for Shavasana, join me here. Legs long, feet about as wide as your mat. Arms by the sides of the body with the palms turned up towards the sky. Go ahead and take a big breath in, fill up the belly. Open the mouth and let it go. Release any control over the breath. Surrender to its natural rhythm. Notice any areas of the body where you might still be holding. Invite those areas to let go. Surrendering the entire weight of your body down into the earth beneath you. If you have more time to stay here in Shavasana, please stay. Otherwise, begin to bring gentle movement into fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. Extend the arms long overhead and take a nice long stretch. Bring the feet flat onto your mat and roll onto the side of your choice. And press into the top hand to help you up into a comfortable seat. Take a moment closing down the eyes, observing breath and body. And bringing the palms to touch at heart center, bowing the head gently towards the hands. Thank you so much for joining me here on the mat today for this practice of strength and surrender. Namaste.